Good morning, Patriots. We are here. Let me plug in my mic. I forgot. Okay, here we are. We have, okay, we're ready. All right. Sponsor, here we go. Here we go. We have Omega with CirstenW.com. You always need a good lubricant to help your food digest. This is Omega with CirstenW.com. It's 51% off while supplies last. It's got everything that you need to have a good digestive system, and you need the right balance of 3, 6, and 9. And this one has it all. The best. Better than the fish oil. It's just perfectly balanced, okay? Ultimate potency, highest DHA, maximum absorption, no rancidity, no worry about contamination, and small to swallow, easy to swallow capsules. They're fantastic. I take them every day. Okay. All righty. Right. Sir, here we go. Hold on one second. We have Omega with no rancidity. No worry about contamination. Okay, hold on one second. I got to close this one off. They're fantastic. All right, so here we go. We have a bunch of people on right now. Hi there, everyone. Okay, so let me start. Okay, we are going into two things. The CIA, but the CIA, the Atlantic Council that spies on us with basically shadow net and other things through corrupt generals like General Jim Jones, General Hayden. Yeah, those people are controlled, and the CIA is controlled by the Council of Foreign Relations. The Council of Foreign Relations was started in 1921, over 100 years ago. Basically, it's basically just to a non-profit think tank. No, they're controlling the CIA. They're controlling the Hollywood. They're controlling the politicians. They're controlling everyone. How's that? They're the control. And two corrupt individuals have been fired from parasiting off all our funds from this Council of Foreign Relations. That would be Henry Kissinger and Madeleine Albright. So there you go. Now let's go into the CIA. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a juicy one. Okay, here comes Scott. He's right here. Hey, Scott. Good morning. Are you still half asleep or what? I only see a picture of you, but that's okay.
I'm totally here. You're the only person that I work for on Sunday, by the way. The only one.
Oh, okay. Well, I really appreciate that. So you don't have to say much. Just go along with me. You can cut me off and comment because I've got this whole show thing. Okay. CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, right? Started in, I think, in the 40s. They were selling basically heroin to Harlem as they started to fight of course, they're calling them the communists, but really they are the communists. So yes, the CIA is also controlled by the Council of Foreign Relations, and was started by Prescott Bush, the adopted father of George Scharf, which is George H.W. Bush. Let me share this so we can see what's going on right here.
Do you mind if I clarify here, since something? Just want to clarify that George H.W. Bush is the leader of the Fourth Reich, the largest drug running and human trafficking probably entity we've ever had in this country. Just in case you don't know, I want to make sure that's very clear. H.W. Bush, former president.
Yeah, and let me add to that. So we have the Bushes that are bringing in the heroin from the poppy fields in Afghanistan. We have the basically, let's say the Clintons bringing in all the cocaine from South America, mostly Colombia. And we have Jeffrey Epstein's big donor named Les Wexner, who is CIA. So you need to understand the CIA works with some other agencies in other countries. That would be MI6 in London. Let's give you some present news that have manufactured, as Scott put on his Telegram, a new variant of COVID-19, which is COVID-20. But they really have manufactured COVID-20, COVID-21, COVID-22, and COVID-23. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of COVIDs on the way, and I don't understand why the P4 lab in Wuhan, China, is not demolished, and the labs in London are not demolished for creating all of this. What do you think, Scott?
Well, that's a good question, because if we know that there's alliance operations that are taking these things out, why do they still stand? I would say, like I said about the presidency, people are asking, how come Trump doesn't do this? How come he doesn't do that? Why doesn't he stop the chemtrails? You covered that last week on what they're really doing. A lot of these chemtrails out there are actually beneficial, but it's an enormous job. I mean, somebody says, how come they're not taking down all the dumbs yet? Really? Like, really? There's 10,000 of them around the world. How come they're not done yet? Do you know how much work there is to clean this mess up? And that's my best answer. Whether it's right or wrong, I have no idea. But you have to do things in sequences. Okay. It's like anything else. It's in chess match, you don't go for you don't go charging right for the king or the queen. You have to set the stage so you work your way to the end conclusion successfully. And who knows, maybe though, here's what I do believe, Kirsten. I've said this a number of times now in the last number of weeks. They have, in my opinion, and I think this is the right thing to do, regardless of what people say about, job losses, prices going up, Americans feeling the pain. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, we've been dead asleep for decades. And those of us who've been warning people for decades, this is what's going on. Nobody cared. Nobody paid attention, right to the point where in 2016, we nearly lost not just our country, everything. So when I look at the back channel information, the 17 military intelligence information, they said many times, now comes the pain. They've also said that there are double meanings and there are triple meanings. Now comes the pain. It's not just for the cabal. It's for us, because now we have to see with our own eyes and be shown, because sometimes you can't tell people the truth. You must show them. And guess what? If they did this whole takedown and then laid it out and said, here's everything that was going to happen, the world wouldn't pay attention at all. America wouldn't pay attention at all. But guess what? There's one thing they will pay attention to, and that's the day a couple towers come down in New York, although it was done by the enemy. You're going to learn about that. Finally, there was one moment where people decided, holy Mary, Mother of God, there's something really going on in this world. We were attacked. The United States was attacked. Now, it went in a different direction than it should have, but it got everybody's attention. That's the most important thing. So here, people have to now see from themselves how evil this satanic power structure is. And I guarantee you, this isn't Donald Trump's decision, folks. This is the military. This is their decision on making this plan, carrying it out to the point where people see the truth, because they know once people see the truth, there will be a massive blowback. That pendulum will come swinging back like a wrecking ball. And there's no rock, no hole deep enough on this planet that this vermin cannot be retrieved by special operations forces and special operations from any country when they start going after all these people. But we are going to learn to grow up. No, playtime is over for the world. We can no longer shuck responsibility and say, well, because of this, because of that. The fact of the matter, and I've said this about my own life because somebody taught me many years ago, regardless of where my life is, I chose to be there. Everything that has gone on in my world is because of the decisions I've made, and I've taken responsibility for those decisions. Don't blame it on anybody else. They're my decisions. They left me here. And if therefore my life sucks or it's great, that's my fault because of the decisions that I made. We have to now take responsibility, and I believe that's what's going to happen, because once this happens one time, and we now they have us on high alert, all eyes on the planet, all eyes on, and everybody knows the truth, Then when they unleash the dogs of war to eliminate this satanic order from the planet, these other knuckleheads won't be trying to get in their way and screw it up. They'll be cheering them. So anyways, that's my belief of why these things are still in play on the other side, because this has to be done right. And it has to be done in a way that nobody will ever try this ever again on this planet.
And we're exposing them little by little. We're not giving you the whole chunk. We're giving you quite a lot today. So let's concentrate on 3 CIA directors. That would be the most corrupt 3. There's so many, but we're just going to concentrate on 3. Number 1, Dulles, the one that has helped assassinate JFK. Number 2, John Brennan, who blackmailed Barack Obama, had his passport and birth certificate, and John McCain, no name McCain, to make him the head of the CIA. He blackmailed them to get in. So let's show you some pictures about what's going on here. So here we go. All right, so we're going to go on down here. We have pictures of CIA. So their main office is in Langley, Virginia. They control, again, through Operation Paperclip, they control the media. That would be the 6 companies that control 90% of the media. Shall we say Disney, General Electric, that was purchased by, I think Comcast took over from General Electric. We'll just say Comcast. Warner Brothers, we have CBS, we have News Corp and Viacom. So who tells them what to say? They all say the same thing. That would be a company in Virginia, CIA office east in called Gannett, Gannett, Gannett. Gannett gives them the 4 a.m. talking points every day. They all say the same thing. And okay, so we're going to go to Dulles, then we're going to CIA Director Dulles, then we're going to go to John Brennan, who's linked to the murders of Seth Rich, Judge Scalia, and Noel Remagen, Secret Service agent Noel Remagen, and the over 50 assassination attempts on Donald Trump. And last but not least, Gina Haspel, who has been arrested. Okay, so all 3 evil, all right? So that's all I have to say. So we're going to concentrate on the 3 most evil ones. Here's a picture of Alan Dulles on the cover of Time magazine. And he was also one of the people that had JFK assassinated, along with the gay president Lyndon Johnson and the mafia. And President JFK was shot so many times from the throat, from the back of the head, they couldn't piece him back together again. So they had to assassinate a cop in New York City that looked like him and put him in the casket. So that's what happened. There's JFK actually presenting Dulles, I think, with a badge. And who do they have investigating the murder of JFK? They have Dulles investigating. He's one of the murderers of JFK, and he's investigating his murder. Can you imagine? No wonder the murder was never found, because there was a bunch of them. And here is what we got from Operation Paperclip. You will see that they use the words racist, Nazi, misogynist, and I'll show you some shooters for the CIA that are MK mind control. They're a bunch of misogynists, including the shooter from Dayton, Ohio, misogynist, he hated women, and the most recent shooter from the Ackworth, Georgia shooting, also a misogynist. And these people have been MK mind control. If you've never seen the video of Britney Spears, who else? Katy, what's her name?
Katy Perry.
Perry, yeah. Katy Perry and Miley Cyrus, all having a very strange tick. You will know they've been MK mind control. If you look at the picture of the stealth bomber, it's exactly like the German one. And we're all doing things under their instruction. That we have so that's what they came in after World War II. And of course, let's name some CIA operatives, shall we? We'll name some CIA operatives. Let's name some CIA operatives. That would be Barack Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, or Barry Soetoro. We have his wife, Mike, whom he called, Mike many times in front of the generals because he forgot to say Michelle. He said Mike. And if you didn't know that they were putting it right in your face, that would be them saying the words, becoming Michelle.
By the way, Kirsten, let me interject one thing about Obama. What most people will be shocked to learn is that Obama's been run by the Bushes since he was born, since he was a baby. He's been run by Prescott Bush, George H.W. Bush's father. And it goes to a lineage that is, from what I understand, goes into Thai royalty. I understand that he inherited a massive amount of money from his father. But since he was a baby, he has been maneuvered through the system of life and been run by the Bushes. In fact, what I had heard at one point was that, I think it was David Wilcox said he has a very good friend who knows Obama directly. When he won the presidency, of course, they orchestrated that, but he had some ideas of things that he wanted to do. And I guess they get together with the former presidents. And the word that I got was that in this meeting, H.W. Bush, who was the leader of the Fourth Reich, said to him when Barack Obama wanted to do certain things, he says, listen, you forking, and he called him the N-word. Look, listen, you forking N-word, you're going to do what the hell you're going to do what the hell we tell you to do. And he basically said, and if you don't, then he was going to, do what they do, chop people up, put them in the mail, stuff like that. So that's how righteous this president we thought was this genial president coming from that family. It's all a fraud. All of it's a fraud.
H.W. Bush also did this slit the throat sign when he saw President Trump. He went like this.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did that in front of his obese wife, whatever.
Yeah, the cool thing is he was right, except he's the one that got it. Yeah. Because when Trump signed his death warrant after he was tribunal by the military, he said, "May God have mercy on his soul, because I know I sure won't."
Yeah, they've on all the people that work for the Bushes say they worship the owl. So they're satanic pedophiles. So there we go. Okay, so let's get over to so they control pretty much everything. They got their hands, gun running, drug trafficking, human trafficking, all these events. And, we're going to go into some of them. I've got all those pictures laid out so we can make this a really interesting show. Okay, so we will go through from the old to the new. How's that? So we have the shooting in Ohio. Let's go to the shooter. Let's go to this. Let's go to this one. Let's go to photos. I'm going to show you all these people, and you're going to just look very carefully. Can you see this? Hold on. Let me check and see if you guys can see this. Okay, so here we go. We have this hold on. Oh, oops. I screwed up. Photos. Let's go back to photos. And I'm going to show you a few things that the CIA is involved with in the photos. Okay, here we go. We have this shooter. I'm scared to click on the picture because it's going to knock me. That's the shooter for the Aqua shooter right there. He's a misogynist. That is CIA propaganda. There's the Dayton shooter, also a misogynist, kind of female looking. And here are some interesting pictures for you. Here is the White Rabbit on the top of a mountain in North Korea.
Wow.
Because the CIA used to control North Korea. And it spent hundreds of millions of dollars on their nuclear things. And look, if you look very careful, it looks like a white rabbit. And Obama's bunker is right here in the tail end of the White Rabbit on top of this mountain. Here is a satanic-looking hotel in Pyongyang in North Korea that was not finished. Is that satanic-looking or not? And last but not least, look at this one. That is Stephen Paddock, the Vegas shooter who worked for the CIA as a gun runner.
We're not seeing that, Kirsten. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing any
You're
of the.
not.
No, we're not seeing. We're not seeing Stephen Paddock.
Hold on. Let me okay. Let me move this down. Hold on.
Yeah, we couldn't see.
Sorry.
We
Okay,
couldn't
can
see
you
the
see
eyes
him
of
now?
these people. There we go.
There's Stephen Paddock. He is a gun runner for the CIA for 20 years. And basically, he was also MK Mind Control. So all these shooters, if you look at them, they all have the same look.
Same
But
eye.
don't forget this one. Don't forget this one. Okay, so we're done here. We're going to go here, and I'm going to show you a video of the Parkland shooter, also MK Mind Control. Trust you me, he never fired a shot. But Hogg, you know, the little gun activist kid, Hogg. I don't remember his is it David Hogg?
Yeah, David Hogg. Yeah.
David Hogg's parents were both CIA. Okay, and here we go. We have this this woman. She said, Parkland teacher, shooter was wearing full metal body armor, helmet, and face mask. She said there were multiple shooters. That's a CIA operation. Multiple shooters, one patsy. That would be Cruz. There were multiple shooters.
Just 1 week ago, Valentine's Day, creative writing teacher Stacy Lapel's class was playing music, writing love letters when the fire alarm went off. As students filed into the hallway, she heard gunfire. The killing had begun.
I was about 2 feet away from my door. All of a sudden, I heard gunshots in the stairwell, which is about 20 feet away from my room. And then kids were screaming and then running back towards me and towards the end of the hallway. So I just went in this very strange autopilot mode where I pivoted on my feet. I unlocked my door, and then kids just started pouring in my room. I don't know how many kids were in there, but I was pulling them and getting them in and shouting at them to get in the room. And then I suddenly saw the shooter about 20 feet from me, standing at the end of the hallway, actively shooting down the hallway, just a barrage of bullets. And I'm staring at him thinking, why is the police here? This is strange, because he's in
because they were shooting too.
Garb, helmet, face mask, bulletproof armor, shooting this rifle that I've never seen before. I don't know when I decided it was the right time to close the door. I grabbed the handle with both hands, and that's when I got nicked or grazed or whatever you call it.
So a bullet hit your arm?
Yes. As I'm closing my door, I'm shouting at my next door neighbor, Mr. Scott Beagle, to close his door. And he's the kind of man that would just keep that door open a little longer. You know, he's all about the kids, you know, but he couldn't see the shooter. I had a good visual of him, which is why I yelled at him to shut his door now.
35-year-old teacher Scott Beagle among the 17 murdered on Marjorie Stoneman Douglas's campus.
Okay, so let's get to that story. That's another MK Mind Control victim, and I'm going to show you his video. Before I show you his video, he looks like an innocent kid. They've mind controlled this kid to be the patsy. So as we've gone through before, Scott, it's always multiple shooters, one patsy. Multiple shooters, one patsy. And this guy's a patsy. He never fired a shot. He was there to take the blame, okay? Because they want this case solved very quickly. And guess what they did? Instead of cleaning up the school, they tore down the whole school because 3 sheriffs were found dead the next day in their sleep. That happened, just like they killed the president of Tanzania, just like they killed a heart attack, just like they killed the mayor of San Francisco, heart attack, just like they killed the public defender of San Francisco, Jeff Adachi, the guy that used to have major aggression with Kamala Harris. She said he was she said he was her friend, but he was her adversary. He said, she's my adversary. He was murdered the same way. All heart attack. That's from the heart attack gun or the,
Andrew Breitbart.
Yeah. Andrew Breitbart, heart attack. Yeah, there you go. So we're going to go into this a little bit. I will teach you how to differentiate between the Chinese CCP murders and which are very similar to the big pharma murders, where they bash your head in or they make you look like a satanic cult for the couple that were making hydroxychloroquine, Bunny Sherman and her husband in Canada. They do intense stuff. But the CIA is a little bit more subtle, let's put it that way. But let's take a look at Cruz right now. Let's take a look at the real Cruz, how fragile he really is, okay? Okay, so here he is in a visit from his brother. Can you see that, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So if you want to talk to Zach because of some of the things you said, I'm going to have to sit in the room. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to ask you any questions, but I can't leave you two alone because some of the things you said about harming yourself.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to Zach?
Yes.
Okay, Zach, have a seat.
MK Mind Control to take the...
I'm not saying anything at all. So,
What do you think wrong with it right now? You should cry. You would cry. People think you're a monster now.
Can you make it louder, Kirsten?
Yeah, I can. Okay, hold on.
Can't hear him.
Okay.
You don't have to, you're not acting like yourself. Why? Like, at least this is not who you are.
Yeah, you're mind controlled.
Come on. Why did you do this? Don't even laugh at me. Dude, this is, I tried it. What happened to your Instagram? I tried to text you like literally a couple of days ago because I had this bad feeling in my heart. What happened to your Instagram? Why did you text me? What happened to it? Why did you stop with your social media? People. What do you mean people, dude? It's irrelevant people. What? Who? Tell me exactly who. Who made you delete your Instagram? Who? People. What people?
The CIA.
People.
Yeah.
I think this is not even a game. You're not gonna wake up and be out of here. Do you remember when we were in the hospital and I told you I had your back? Remember when Mom died? Remember we were walking down the hallway and I told you? You don't remember. You probably don't because you just did some fucked up shit. I told you when we were walking down the hallway, that's just me and you and I had your back. Alright, I know you probably feel like you have nobody, but I care about you. I literally would put my heart out for you. I know I make it seem like I didn't care about you at all. I know I made it seem like when we were growing up that I hated you. I didn't like you. But truth is, I just didn't want to look like it. I didn't want to look weak. I love you with all my heart. Like I will tell you, I'm telling you right now, I love you. I know what you did today. Other people look at me like I'm crazy for even. And I don't care what other people think. Like you're my brother. I love you. I want you to. You can't. How you? Can I hug him?
yeah, as long as you.
He's a murderer. Yeah, right. He's a murderer. Yeah.
I know what you've gone through.
Yeah, he's not a murderer.
Kirsten, I think one of the things we have to, we see this stuff all the time, right? We become so desensitized with this. For 1 minute, look at this kid who they vilified. Maybe psychopath. Imagine that's not you. Imagine that's your child that's sitting there.
Yeah.
Look at the kid. Imagine if you were seeing this scene as your child completely emotionally wrecked and destroyed and crying, not knowing what the hell happened. That's how expendable these people are. All these people that they get into program to mind control them, to go out and be the patsy, even if they do shoot, whatever, kill people, which you can clearly see as you've done your research. You believe he didn't do any of this, and now we have testimony that there's other people that were in those buildings doing the killing. Same thing. When you look at the 911 attacks, right away, instead of investigating, what are they doing? Clean up. to get all the
Yeah.
evidence out of there.
That's the FBI for you.
Get it out of there. Get the evidence out of there. Raise the school building, because there's evidence that if they do their research, they could figure this shit out. But we just become so desensitized. This is a human being here. This young boy is a human being. And look how absolutely destroyed this poor kid is, scared shitless, not knowing what's going on. That's a human life. We can't.
You're blaming? He shot so many people. How could he be everywhere? And was he wearing full bulletproof gear? No, he was not. He was with this one girl the whole time. He's the patsy. Just like, shall we say, we just looked at Stephen Paddock of Las Vegas shooting, right? The gun runner for the CIA for 20 years. He had made a lot of money gun running. He was loading up the rooms with guns. Those 2 floors were owned by Prince Alaweed, Dopey from the Q Drops. We can talk here because we're not on YouTube. So basically, Dopey and at the Mandalay Bay, those first 2 floors were owned by him. Basically, he had 2 assassins come in because they were going to assassinate his relative, Prince Salman, and Trump rescued him, got him out of the Tropicana in his regular clothes, and got him out of there, and basically through Eric Prince of BlackRock, and he was saved. And
Blackwater, right? Blackwater.
Blackwater, you're right.
Yeah.
Blackwater, you're correct. Not BlackRock. BlackRock is an investment company that's corrupt too. Anyway, Blackwater, you're correct. And basically, he was saved, but they started shooting. They first shot Paddock. And then Paddock, who was also MK Mind Control, because he used to say some freaky stuff. And then they were shot themselves, the two assassins, by the FBI. But there were multiple shooters. There were about 6 or 7 there. 6, I would say 6, because that's their favorite number, 6. Plus, this month is Sacrifice Month. So as I mentioned, there'd be shootings, right? We have the Aqua shooter. And again, White and MK Mind Control. Look at his face; it's completely glazed over. He couldn't have shot all those people.
Can you show that picture, Kirsten? Can you show that picture, because we can't see
that picture? Okay, what the one of the shooter?
You said look at his face. Yeah, I don't know if you had it up. You thought you did.
Okay. If I do that, basically, hopefully, it's not gonna. Let's go back up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna get. Am I gonna get it? Okay, let's take a look. Hopefully, this one. Oh, there we go. Here. Oh shoot!
Look
there we go.
Their eyes. Look at their eyes. Their eyes are always the same.
Glazed over, like. What did I do? I don't know. Where am I? I have no idea. Yep, that would be the latest shooting. This is Sacrifice Month. As I mentioned before, there's going to be another shooting coming up towards right around Easter. I guarantee it. Because that's a big satanic sacrifice date. So, yeah, they have caught a couple of assassins coming up the border in Texas right now in Sector 3 that are from the Middle East somewhere. And what is that place? Yemen. They're from Yemen. So they caught some assassins. But as I mentioned before, the military used to bring them in, okay? Okay, so that's what happened, the Vegas shooting. So let's go to this oldie but goodie, and I'll show you what kind of freaks these people are, okay? So this is all in conjunction with the basic bomber, U.S. bomber, that they tried to say was Caucasian because they're trying to do another color revolution, okay? And here he is. Do you see him? His name is Caesar Psyop, okay? It's Caesar Psyop. It's almost like Psyop, S-A-Y-O-C. He was Hispanic, okay? And he was supposedly sending all these bombs that federal authorities arrested a suspect on Friday in connection with 13 parcel bombs sent this week to Democratic politicians, with at least 13 parcel bombs sent this week to Democratic politicians and high-profile critics of U.S. President Trump. Yes, the van was taken away from the scene. Arrest of Caesar Sayoc, 56, a Florida Florida business car park. The van was covered with stickers of photos of Donald Trump. Okay, come on. If a van had all these MAGA photos in Florida, I know it's Florida, but on the east coast of Florida, which is very liberal, the windows would have been bashed out. It wouldn't have been in perfect mint condition. Okay, nothing. It's flawless. They should have roughed it up a little bit to make it more believable. But this is another MK mind control victim, and hopefully they paid him well, because that's their bomber that they found very quickly, just like they found a girl to admit that she stole Nancy Pelosi's laptop from January 6th, which we know she didn't. The Patriots have it. And yeah, it's really, really crazy.
You know how easy this is to make Americans believe this stuff?
Yeah.
Including me. Never even questioned it, found it peculiar, but I went with it. We have these planes hit the towers on 911.
Yeah.
Towers come down. In all of that rubble, all the rubble, we found the passports of 19 hijackers.
Right.
And again, I like to say how stupid people are, but guess what? We become clouded by our own prejudices, by our own emotions, because even though I believed that was peculiar, I still went with it. How did they find these passports when the planes are completely incinerated, right? Supposedly, can't find jet engines. You can't find anything. Here's all this rubble. But here we are. That's kind of strange, but they did find their passports, and here comes the pile on. Here comes the pile on. The military, everybody starts, it's all lined up. As soon as they pull the trigger, everybody gets in place. Media and all the talking heads start providing us all the evidence. So we start beating the drums of war. So we show up in Afghanistan, where they had 8 hectares of opium under cultivation. 2 years later, there's 84 hectares of opium under cultivation, with our U.S. soldiers being forced to patrol these opium fields. Shit like that. But this is a point. The bushes. We just believe this shit that is spoon-fed to us. And it's like, and again, I'm guilty, because I got so focused on the attack, even though I thought that was peculiar. Here's what it is. Again, I said this on the show the other day. When you can finally break the bonds of belief that the people that run everything, the multinational corporations, the food industry, big pharma, media, the governments around the world, when you can get over the fact that they are not working for humanity, and they're truly working against humanity, when you can come to that conclusion, now you can think critically. Until that time comes, you're never going to do what the media is supposed to do to keep us safe from government, and as to always dig and say, wait, what the hell is this? And force people to explain. That's why the media is now useless. The media is the watchdog to protect the people in a free nation from tyranny, the media. But now they're complicit because they simply infiltrated, bought them off, paid the scumbags, the weak people with no spine and no honor, no code, paid these people off to now bullshit us into everything that goes on in the world to believe all this. I mean, you look at some of the things you're talking about is insanity. Like, how can this go on? This is why they call us useless feeders and sheep. I said, man, I wish I would have been I don't wish, but I imagine if I'd have been a bad guy and knowing what I know now 30 years ago, hell, I would have taken over the Western Hemisphere. This would have been easy, right? Because of how easy it is to get us to just walk blindly like sheep right into our own enslavement pen. It baffles me. Now, obviously, we're banging away trying to wake people up and say, look for yourself. Don't believe any of this. We're telling you, go do some research, go start digging, look for everybody who's done this, especially since the COVID, how that backfired. All these people had nothing else to do. So they started to listen. Their attention was now elsewhere, from the daily back to home to work, work to home to work, work to home to work. That whole rhythm that turns into basically a grave. Now they're looking around, and all these people woke up because they start paying attention. And so that's what our mission is to keep bringing this stuff like you're bringing to people. Show them. Don't believe a word of it. Think it's all bullshit. Great. Go disprove it. Go disprove it. Kirsten got the information.
They stole $23 trillion from Building 7, and Justice Roberts is about to be exposed. I do believe from my intel, he's on the brink of being exposed. He took $3 trillion and gave the other $20 trillion to the Bushes, the Cheneys, and the Clintons.
Yeah.
And they use a lot with this guy named Mike from the super duper secret space program, which is not Trump's space program, to build the deep military underground bases with those trillions of dollars, $20 trillion. But Justice Roberts has got $3 trillion of the 23 trillion. Also, you know, those buildings were taken down by explosives, not by those planes. You watch the building fall. That's how they explode and bring a building down. Even Donald Trump, he's a builder, he knows. You take the building, you put the explosive, one layer goes down, next layer falls, next layer falls. They're all taken down by explosives. And they took all the gold out and they took all the money out from Building 7 before everything happened. That was a total setup. And if you really want to know, bin Laden was bringing in heroin and drugs for the Bushes for decades. Mm-hmm. So he was the drug launderer and stuff for the Bushes. So of course they, rewarded him, and he died of not because he was murdered, but because of something else. But here is a really interesting one that I think you should see. This has got to do with Miss Christine Baisley Ford. Her father, Ralph Baisley, got the job from this person who was the money launderer for basically the CIA. He had his own coin and everything. Goes James Bond, can you see this? And the killer bag lady. So we have this guy named, in the morning of November 19th, 1985, a wide-eyed, devilish, homeless woman entered the reception room of the Wall Street firm of Deke Pereira, carrying a knapsack with an aluminum baseball bat sticking out of the top. Her face was partially hidden by stalks of greasy, gray-streaked hair falling from under a wool cap. She demanded to speak to firm's 80-year-old founder, Nicholas Deke. Nicholas Deke was laundering all the drug money for the CIA. The 44-year-old drifter's name was Lois Lang. She arrived in Port Authority that morning, and guess what happened? Years before, like a few years before, she was a homeless person that was grabbed off the street by the CIA doctor, Dr. Mengels. Kind of like Mengele, but Mengels. He took this homeless person and MK mind controlled her at his house in Seattle, Washington. Okay. And, so she went into this office, asked Frances Lauder, Deke was out. She became agitated and accused Lauder of lying. Okay, so then after he mind controlled this person, this homeless person, he put her on a bus to New York City to kill Nicholas Deke because the CIA wanted to get rid of him. And so this is what happened. When he came back, and she attacked him, and he almost had her by the throat, but she managed to get hold of the gun and shot him and killed him, Nicholas Deke. And he, here, Deke, fit and firm, age 20, bounded out of his office. What was that? He shouted. Lang saw him and turned the corner with purpose, aiming a pistol with both arms. When she had Deke in her sight, she froze, transfixed. It was as if she finally found what she was looking for, a witness had later testified. Deke seized the pause to lunge and grab Lang's throat with both hands, pressing his body into hers. She fired once next to Deke's ear and missed wide before pushing away just enough to bring the gun into his body and land a shot right above his heart. The bullet ricocheted off his collarbone and shredded his organs. He fell to the floor. Okay, that's not the crazy part. It's already so crazy, right? That's what she looked like before she went to jail. This is what she looks like now, okay? This is what she looked like. And he had coins made of himself. Here you see, Nationalism of Sound Money, Nicholas Deek. He was the drug launderer for the CIA, House of Deek. He was promoting himself, and the CIA was not happy with him. And that's what she looks like now, okay? That's Lois Lang. Take a good look. Do you see it?
What? I don't get it. How? What? In prison, right?
Yeah, I mean, what the CIA is really a clown freak show. Do you not see what this person looks like with a beard? It's like the bearded lady. That's what this person looks like right now. These are the freaks that they find. I never put anything past the CIA. They're a bunch of freaks. They're total freaks, okay? They are total freaks, all right? Total freaks, okay? So that's the freaky part, okay? With a woman with a beard, okay? I mean, I don't know where they find these people. It's really amazing, okay? And it's just crazy. And last but not least, let's go to this, okay? The explosion. They say it's a car crash, but it was an explosion of Kelly Loeffner's assistant, the boyfriend of Brian Kemp, the governor of Florida. There we go. This kid was exploded in his car. And these liberals were driving past and just laughing, like, what the hell is that? That was not a car collision. That was a car explosion. This is the work of the CIA for China, CCP. They're way more intense, and they do a bigger, intense job, just like they did, taking out a bunch of other people. They sent threatening letters to Brian Kemp and told him not to talk because they'd just given $400 million to the Dominion Company a month ago. They had given money to Sterling, the guy that did the voting there. Georgia must be the most corrupt. And next comes Arizona, these two places. And so they exploded this guy dead. Okay. This is the CIA doing the job for China. And the China had a lot of money involved. So there you go. So yeah, that's Kelly Loeffler's assistant. Okay. Oh, it never stops. And again, last but not least, I think we mentioned this earlier. We have the president of Tanzania. You remember he said that the COVID, the fruit tested basically positive for COVID. Now he's dead. Okay, that would be probably big pharma. And Tanzania's COVID-19 denying president, dead at 61, same heart attack. They said he died of COVID. No, he didn't, and he refused to make anyone wear any mask in Tanzania, and they didn't believe in COVID. They're all, they took care of him. They are just total beasts. This is what we're up against on the daily. And so, yep. And of course, they own YouTube, which we're not on today. So we can kind of say what we want. And they own, of course, Google, that owns YouTube. And of course, they gave money to, what's his name? Jeff Bezos, to buy the Washington Post that attacks Trump every day. And they, of course, gave money to the pedophile, Walt Disney, to buy Disney World. So the CIA has got lots of cash, okay? Lots of cash. And they get a lot of the money from Google, and they give it to North Korea to make weapons. But now that Trump's cleared out North Korea, we don't have a problem anymore. So there you go. It is brutal. So that's our little take on the CIA, Scott. Now you can really go home and stay home and take a nap because I woke you up again. Maybe we should do the show later when you're not so tired, but you were on the money today anyway. I just feel bad waking you up so early, which
Well,
yeah,
that's okay. I do have some interesting information that came from my source that I call the only thing I can call them is their protector.
Okay.
I don't, I've talked about them before a little bit, at least that I get intel from this organization.
Right.
And I've kind of watched what has come at me, and there's been kind of a little bit of a I don't know if it'd be a feeling out, like, is there a trust relationship? I think certainly there needed to be, understanding that I could be trusted, I assume. And, but I've watched this information come now for a little while. I haven't talked about a lot of it. Again, trying to see what is emerging here. But what I can say, what I thought was quite, and I think I might have told this to you, but right. I actually, there's a couple things that are happening. And these are the things that people speculate on, and they've been putting this stuff out for over a year. Is JFK Jr. alive? All these kind of things. Well, probably the most sensational information among some others I'm going to talk about tomorrow is that I was provided visual evidence that Lady Di is not gone. And also that the reason that Prince Harry is kind of off the rails, it has to do with this. Now, I don't know if he's been clued in that she is not gone, that she is very much alive. And the photographs that I have is just stunning. Again, you're seeing an aged person. I know people can say, well, anybody can do that with CGI and all that. That may be true. But there's other things that come by way of being able to discern what's true and not based on other information you've been given. Mm-hmm. But that was one of the biggest things that I actually had been provided. There's also another information. I think this is quite interesting that I've been provided is that, and some of these things I have to be translated. I've had stuff in Latin, but different languages that I've got to get translated. But here's what I understand. Okay, as I'm understanding what I'm seeing as far as Gitmo executions, etc. And I don't know if it is permissible to actually release the names of who's in command of Gitmo, and so I don't want to just say that without any permission, or because I got to be careful because there's understandings that I don't have in this information of, where is this leading to? What exactly is the purpose for me of all people? I guess that's probably more somewhat of my own insecurities, like why me? Why am I getting this? I mean, there's been good answers, from my point of view of why, I've been selected or chosen to disseminate information like this. It's kind of a flattery, is put upon me, or even an honor. But there are executions that are going to follow the ones that have already happened. Mm-hmm. If I'm reading this right, the tribunals from what I'm assuming, the players in question over the period of time that we've been watching this play out have been completed. Could be wrong on that, but that's how I'm interpreting this. There are executions that are going to follow. What I do know is that as I've said before, you've probably heard it too. Mike Pence has been dealt with. Mike Pence is done. I mean, I said this before, whatever you're seeing of Mike Pence when he's with Trump, whatever that is, another body double, a clone, AI, whatever.
Yeah, they have so many of those doubles.
Yeah, that's not Pence. Like I said, I've watched Pence for years. Pence has a perpetual tan. He always has. White hair, perpetual tan. And he's got he's got the face as wrinkled as I do. I'm like, and then he's got this AI, this other new Pence that's pasty white and not a wrinkle on his face. So this is just basically, for whatever reason, this piece of information is confirmation that he's gone. He's been dealt with. So these operations, my belief are that our understanding is these operations of bringing down these cabal players, it is actual. It's true. It's real. I'm still trying to piece some of this stuff together, but I had two more pieces come at me today, but I didn't, let me take I sent some questions out to try to figure out why I was given this information. So I posed a couple of questions, and one of those questions are, you know, what are you saying? Are you saying that this is these things, like with Harry, you know, Prince Harry, that he's behaving this way because now he is clued into that? And the answer is exactly that. Is yeah. So what exactly happened there? Again, these are things that I can't quite answer for myself. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to say about that, because I really don't know how much I'm very cautious, because I don't know if this information is some are for my eyes only, my eyes, you know, the evidence, the proof, the information. That's what I got to decipher here. Is this information being presented to me to show credibility, or is it to disseminate? But when it comes to any evidence, especially visual, I won't show anything, because that's something you can't pull back, right? You can't you can't unsee something. But what I want to say to this, and I'm going to do a little more research before tomorrow's show, is this: there's things happening in this world that when they expose all this, it's like the nature of even someone like Lady Di having that death actually staged to get her out of there, get her away from these reptilians, the royal family, these horrible Nazis, which is what they are. They're not royal bloodline. They are they're imposters. To get her out of there, remove that from them, you know, from that whole thing. It brings a lot of questions. And what are you doing? Abandoning your kids? What's happening here? I don't know. But I think what I'm learning is the reality is more surreal than people are going to be able to digest if you just throw it right at them. Look at this. I think once a shockwave hits of the reality of this planet and all this horrific shit that these Satanists have put on humanity, now that shock has gotten everybody's attention, there's got to be something that's going to lift humanity to be inspired, to go on, to have faith, to have hope. And that's when I think the reemergence of someone like Lady Di, if this is real, which I believe it is, now that I've had eyes on, and that JFK Jr. steps out. Because I said this before. I said this.
You think he's alive? They said he was alive?
Well, that I didn't get any information on Junior, but this is information on Lady Di. So here's the thing. We've seen people who have died over time that we just, for whatever reason, drug overdose here and there. Some people believe Isaac Cappy's not even dead, but there are big people of historical measure in our society, in our culture, that they're iconic. You call them whoever, Elvis, whoever, these people this level. And I'm not saying Elvis is still in the building or whatever, but I'm saying is that there has to be something that's going to help rescue humanity once the truth is learned, because the horror would be so fearful for probably even me, everybody, is that there's got to be something to make people want to go on. And I said this a year ago, not quite a year ago. I said, here's what I believe. Speaking of Junior, we know from the back channel information that the world will be united, right? Look at the chaos today. Look what's happened in this country in a few months when we saw a stolen election. Look at things that are going on around the world. How could you possibly unite the world? How could you possibly do it? I mean, come on, it's insanity to unite. We can't even unite the country, let alone the world. My guess is, hold on. My guess is, and I said this, what is one thing that within 24 hours would cause the entire planet to put down its emotional arms against each other, aside from Christ dropping on the planet and the whole world seeing it? What is one thing that could give legitimacy to the satanic order of the planet and what they've done, that it is defeated and that there is a new, a beautiful world coming? The reemergence of America's favorite son. because there's virtually no one on the planet that would not be affected by that, that would say, this is a reality that could be the greatest thing and let's just talk about him. Let's say the reemergence of figures that the world loves. Lady Diana, Michael Jackson, JFK Jr. People speculate that these guys are not gone. But what if?
Michael Jackson, I know, is gone for sure,
Okay.
because they've made clones of him for years, and the clones would degenerate because the original is gone. But I am here to expose the CIA. So I know that Gina Haspel is spilling her guts. And as you know, she was in a firefight in Frankfurt. She was shot and she was taken, and she's spilling her guts. She also has told them that the Leonardo satellite was stealing the votes, and also everything was actually controlled by China through the Hammer supercomputer that was sold to China by James Comey. As you know, he's not been home for a very long time. And last but not least, I'm here to expose the two, becoming Michelle, aka Michael von Robinson, who fired all the generals. It wasn't Obama. Michelle, aka Michael, he was much higher in rank in the CIA than Obama, and basically was tweeting back and forth wearing black and blue, and Beyonce was wearing black and blue. As they were tweeting back and forth, what happened was the Notre Dame fire and also the Sri Lanka bombing. So they were both involved in that. So FYI, if I didn't mention it before, that's what I know to have happened. So yes, Mike needs to really hang too, because he is worse than Obama. Okay, worse. So that's what I have to say about it.
Where do you stand on where these people are? We've heard numerous times they've been dealt with. So what do you think that they could possibly have been dealt with at this point?
Well, like you said, if the originals dealt with, like Hillary's past, an ice worm base in Greenland, they have a double that's shorter, or they have whatever. Once the original is gone, it's hard to do the clones anymore. So, that's what happened. We have Jeffrey Epstein also at ice worm base in Greenland, that's still alive. And we have Obama that's also in Iceworm Base, the original Obama that's still alive. So, yeah. So that's what's happening. So I think that they have doubles out there. I know Obama had 16 clones at one time, and he has only one. There's only one really good one left. But the original's still alive. And an Iceworm Base. He supposedly escaped Michelle or Mike, because Mike was so abusive, slamming him up against the wall and stuff, and he was tired of getting, hurt, so he left. That's what happened. That is a confirmed little Gene story that Gene has been saying for years. So yes, that would be the receiver of. So
Mike was.
Yeah. And Mike's got HIV positive. I know that Mike is HIV positive for decades, because some nurse in Chicago told the story of his HIV positive, and he wants to remain a hero and not take the medication for the HIV that we know that cures it. And so let him do what he wants to do. But that's what's going on. I'm just concerned that the CIA is out of action. And also, as I said, the FBI that does the cleanup for the CIA, because if they really want to get you, Scott, they can just, if they're coming to get you and you've got money and you think you can fight them, they'll just deposit some child pornography on your computer, and you will see. And if you haven't seen, there has been, and I'll cover this on my show tomorrow, over 25 arrests of Democrats that are linked to pedophilia. tons and tons of them. And the one lead one is in Texas. And he is, a total pedophile. And he's the one that brought the trannies in to teach the little kids. And that guy is going to be exposed. But there's so many on that list. I can't read them all in one setting. It's like page after page after page of these pedophiles. But I'll cover it tomorrow in my show because I need to fill up the time. But I think we gave them a lot of stuff on the show to chew on. Okay.
Yeah.
Baron Trump is not Princess Diana's son. I'm sorry. You guys read crazy stuff. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. It's just like really crazy. It makes me crazy when I see this stuff. But okay, so we are doing another show with Scott on Wednesday night, I think. And that would be at 8 p.m. with Dave Snedeker.
Let me take a quick look. I think that is actually 7 p.m. Eastern time because my shows are always 7 p.m. Eastern time. And so, so we've got CirstenW and Dave Snedeker. We're going to be doing that on Wednesday. So, we had a great show.
What time is that?
That
8 o'clock.
It's 7 p.m. Eastern time. My show is always 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, so it's 6 o'clock your time.
6 o'clock my time. Yeah,
that's even better. That's even better.
Central, 7 Eastern. Yeah, because you'll be in bed. You probably have your slippers on whenever we do that show.
I wear socks all day long, so I don't need to wear it.
You gotta have your nighty and then your bunny slippers on when we do the show, so you can jump right into the rack when we're done.
Correct. There we go. Okay. Thank you so much. This was a great show. We exposed a lot of stuff on the CIA. I mean, I want my main goal is to take out the CIA and also to stop the weather warfare. How's that? By the CIA, the NSA, and the Department of Defense. Those three need to go. I'm sorry. That is my main thrust in life, is to take those three down. Okay. First the CIA, then NASA, which was created around the same time as the CIA. And then last but not least, the DOD, who's left there that's corrupt. Okay. Needs to go down. And why is Christopher Wray still around? They keep on saying on the drops, trust Wray, trust Wray. I don't know. And there was a video, I don't think it's a real one, of Durham saying he's going to get him. Did you see that video? It was funny.
Yeah, that was a spoof, right?
Yeah, that was a spoof. There you go. But that was funny though. But I do have a video of Mr. Dementia himself, Mr. 25th Amendment, falling a day ago he went from his helicopter going up the steps of the fake Air Force One, and he fell on the steps going up. Okay, Mr. Biden. Okay, so
there's a funny meme out there now. You've seen the funny meme where it shows Trump on a golf course. He's hitting a shot, and they show the golf ball take Biden down. He tries to get up. Trump hits another shot, takes him out again. Then there's also one out there with Vladimir Putin. And Vladimir Putin has a tabletop sniper rifle. And, Putin, I don't care what you think you may know about Putin, but he's a badass. He's a badass patriot who's been fighting the cabal for 20 years by himself. Thank God Trump and company came along. But they just show him. I mean, when he racks around in that sniper rifle, you're like, this guy's done this shit his whole life, because he was KGB. Yeah. But anyway, so he takes his shot. Boom, they show Biden going down. He racks another one.
But Biden, when he fell on the steps going up the plane, he fell on all fours. It's funny as crap. I love it. So they tried to do the 25th Amendment on Donald Trump, and Donald Trump told him it's going to come back on you, and everything that he says is true. Now it's coming back on him. He's gone. They're going to have to push Kamala really quick because she's doing all the work. Now he keeps on calling her President Harris, so we know who's next, who's coming up. But that's all I have to say. And of course, they're attacking Ron DeSantis here because we have spring break, and there's so many people in Florida, in Miami. They had to close up the street, and they call him DeSantis. They're there to bash our governor, which really pisses me off. Okay. So really, really look at what's going on now. They're on their they're on the death roll. They're running out of things to do. It's really crazy.
They're in a death spiral.
Yeah, death spiral. There
Anyways.
we go. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I'll get this to you as soon as Mike takes this down. Thanks, Scott. Thank you. Okay. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
Bye-bye.